Love, Lost, and Live streamed at the billion-dollar wedding spectacle broadcast to the planet. Blake bolted. He did it to chase the adoptive who had fled across the ocean with a broken heart. Under every staring eye, I walked up to one man. You. Before I could finish, he slid the platinum band onto my finger. Yes. Later, the adoptive became his biological sister, and Blake slunk home, begging for a do-over, only to watch the city's uncrowned king smile through a reporter's microphone. True. I'd come planning the objection and claim moment. One night before the ceremony, I stumbled on his iMessage thread with his adoptive. On the screen, Blake pleaded, "Sophia, don't leave, please. I love only you. Marrying Scarlett is just business. You hate her, right? Tomorrow I'll walk. You know the wedding's a global live stream. She'll be humiliated in real time. Sophia, you're the only one in my heart." Message after message, frantic loyalty. Reading them, I almost laughed out loud. Back when we were planning, he had insisted on the global live stream. Both sets of parents called it absurd and refused. But Blake gazed at me with gooey devotion. I want the world watching our billion-dollar wedding spectacle. I want everyone to know that marrying Scarlett is the luckiest thing that will ever happen to me. His gush had felt over the top yet harmless. Every detail would hit the feeds the next day anyway. So I agreed. The parents relented when they saw I didn't object. Now I realized he had already scripted using me as a sacrifice to impress Sophia. He knew exactly how crushing a groom's bolt would be. I lowered my eyes to Sophia's latest line. "I'm already at Riverdale leaving tonight." But Blake never weighs fallout. He'll ditch tomorrow. I couldn't stop him. Brace yourself. I tried to ask why she was warning me, but my text bounced back. She'd blocked me. While I stared, a soft knock landed on the door. Blake. A bouquet in his arms, love shining in his eyes. I shut the screen and looked up. "Aren't we forbidden to meet the night before? Why come?" "I missed you," he flushed. "So I came." Oscar-level acting. If the phone weren't still hot in my hand, I might have forgotten this affectionate man had already decided to abandon me at the altar to brand me a laughingstock just to prove love for someone else. I studied his face. "You still have a chance to back out. Before sunrise we could cancel 1,000 times. You could chase Sophia honorably." He froze, then reached to stroke my hair. Silly. Why would I regret the luckiest day of my life? I dodged his fingers. "Go home." Unaccustomed to coldness, he thrust the flowers at me and hunted for more lines. I angled the door shut. He shrugged, offered limp comfort, and left. His footsteps hadn't cleared the stairs before I booted the bouquet into the corridor. 2. Leaving Sophia's chat, I unblacklisted one contact. "You coming tomorrow?" Instant reply. "No." I started to answer when bursts followed. "Only you could order me to watch you marry someone else. The only reason I'd show is to stage the objection and claim the moment." "What's this? Testing whether I'd wreck your day." "Relax. My moral high ground is intact. I definitely won't be there." At his final line I sighed. "Okay." He answered with a string of ellipses and vanished. I tossed the phone and punched the pillow twice. He was determined to humiliate me to impress Sophia. Without his consent, the spectacle couldn't be stopped. Liam was equally determined to stay away. I'd have to wing it. 3. Every pre-ceremony rehearsal, Blake hit his marks like a pro, as if the chat had been my hallucination. But the second before vows, he met my eyes with apology. "Sorry, I can't lie to myself. I can't live without Sophia." Under my calm gaze, he released my hand. He faced the guests and the global livestream lens. "Forgive me, I can't marry someone I don't love. The wedding is off." Gasps rolled through the hall as Blake strode out, boarding the next flight to anywhere. Below, pity and ridicule mingled. The livestream chat exploded. "Who pulls this back out before? Not mid-ceremony. A zillion chances prior. Why trash her on camera? Not even Team Scarlett." But ouch, my heart. If it were me, I'd hate him till I die. Sis, don't forgive. What did the gorgeous bride do to deserve this gag? Hope the cheater gets hit by a rideshare. TBH. A planner tried to usher me off and end the circus. I slipped free, scanned the room, and found him. Liam, he had come. No time to wonder. I inhaled, lifted my reception dress, and walked straight to him. You before another syllable he stood. Yes. A platinum band, far grander than the one Blake chose, slid home around my finger. My parents hurried over, laughing it off. President Hawthorne, Scarlett's just stunned, joking. Don't take it seriously. They turned to me with soft reproach. Scarlett finished making noise. Then come home. As I opened my mouth, Liam's arm circled my waist. He bent to my ear. I've already bulldozed my moral high ground. Try to back out and I'll die on the spot. Sophia smiled, clasped his hand and led him to the altar. Thank heaven the officiant possessed iron nerves. After a heartbeat shock, he resumed the script, guests following along as though a groom hadn't just sprinted for the exit. It felt as though this wedding had always been meant for Liam and me. For while I was changing into my reception dress, I slipped my phone out for a glance. Sure enough, the spectacle had clawed its way to the top of the trending chart. Liam's, his, and my names were pinned to the very summit. In the real-time feed, strangers kept roasting his idea of romantic. If he really loves her, why didn't he tell his family first and marry the woman he wants? Worst case, even if the family said no, he could still stay celibate for her, right? Agreeing to marry someone else, then bailing at the altar. Hard pass. No idea what the other girl is thinking. But if the two of them plan this, I can only say, please stay locked together forever. Girls, don't be mad. Scarlett was epic, swapping grooms on the spot, and Liam is seriously hotter than Blake. The ceremony felt so natural I forgot Blake even existed. Anyone else see Liam murmur to Scarlett while his arm was around her? I'm shipping them so hard. I was still scrolling when Liam stepped in. Only then did I truly take in his outfit. He was groom standard from head to toe. So I teased. Didn't you say last night you weren't coming? Liam straightened his bow tie, perfectly calm. I really didn't want to, but then I figured I owed you one last choice. If you didn't pick me, you still needed to see the gap between that Vance guy and me. Plus, you suddenly asked if I was coming. Proof you never wanted the wedding to end smoothly. Bottom line, he'd shown up ready to wreck the place. He just hadn't expected Blake to bolt before he could. I wiggled my diamond-clad finger at him, grinning. And this Liam's expression froze. He adjusted his bow tie again, fishing for a plausible excuse. I added fuel. Pretty sure this style takes 3 months to custom order. His lips pressed tight until he surrendered. I planned the objection and clay moment way ahead. So what? The words rang bold, but the fingers fussing with his tie betrayed him. Liam and I had actually dated once. Then came a breakup so vicious that when my family pushed me toward Blake, I snapped. We're done. I'm going home to marry whoever they choose. The next morning Liam had vanished. It resurfaced only days before the wedding. Apology first, explanation after. He'd meant to coax me back right away, he said. But minutes into drafting a text, a Hawthorne power struggle erupted, and he was recalled. By the time he'd cleared that up, he was already at my door. The sight drove him into stubborn overdrive. I was furious and instantly blocked him. I felt my own smile mirror Sophia's smirk. And you still insisted last night you wouldn't show. Liam gave you a pea, lying, sounding almost proud. My mouth is stiffer than a duck 3 years dead. You didn't know? I couldn't hold it in. I turned to retouch my makeup and laughed into the mirror. Liam watched me in that mirror without blinking. Finally I snapped. Why do you keep staring? He pointed at his bow tie, innocent. It's a dead knot. I rolled my eyes but went over to untangle it. He'd pulled it so tight and my nails so long that it took forever. When the silk finally loosened, my legs were jelly. The moment I wobbled, Liam yanked me against him and lightning fast brushed a kiss across my lips. Right then, the global livestream cameraman's voice floated in. Let's check on the bride and groom. He caught us, tripped over his own feet and stammered, let's admire, shall we? The hotel's layout. Finding no crack in the floor, I buried my face in Liam's chest. He cleared his throat and quietly shut the door. The livestream chat rioted at the poor guy. Don't you dare leave. What are we, chopped liver VIPs? Bro, please sneak one peek and you're my hero for life. Stop shooting the decor. I can't afford this place anyway. Show us the good stuff. Yeah, go on. If they catch you, just say it was your own idea. If you don't, I'm sending a band of dudes to talk to you. Bullets of begging later, the cameraman killed the feed at light speed. 5. The night the wedding ended, Liam and I launched straight into our honeymoon. Not for romance, just to dodge our parents in the Van Cess. Mom and Dad Vance were livid. I'd swapped grooms on the spot. Eleanor even used the house trip call to scold me. Scarlett, I know Blake wronged you, but she faltered, then forced it out. You still shouldn't have done something so tasteless as changing grooms mid-ceremony. Now rumors say you and Liam were in cahoots all along, and Blake gallantly stepped aside. I nearly laughed aloud. I wasn't off-grid. I knew exactly who'd seeded that rumor. The Vance camp had leaked it themselves. Better to paint me the villain than let their heir be remembered as the guy ditched at the billion-dollar wedding spectacle. It might tarnish his future dating prospects. The silence around me was so complete she heard my soft chuckle. She wanted to snap but curbed it. Voice coaxing. Sweetie, everyone makes youthful mistakes. He did. You did. Before it's too late. Let's set things right. I'll talk Blake into coming back. Too bored to argue, I screenshotted his recent posts and messaged them to her. Since skipping town, Blake updates daily blissful snapshots of his new life abroad with Sophia. Never showing her face, always there. I fired them off, then said, Aunt Eleanor, I'm already on the correct path. Goodbye, and hung up before she could reply. Liam stepped out of the bathroom right then. My gaze slid to the towel slung low on his hips. Catching my look, he started to smirk until he spotted my still-lit phone. I rushed to explain. That was for his mom. He turned his back to me, icy. He didn't ask if I'd ever buy that line. Knowing exactly how prickly Liam could be, I poked the muscle under his sleeve. Seriously, his mom wanted me to patch things up with him. So I sent her the screenshots and told the whole family to leave me alone. Liam. Oh, you don't have to explain. I'm not the petty type, huh? So stubborn even while he's sulking. I decided to tease him and made a show of standing. All right, since you're so open-minded, you won't mind if I go down to the beach and check out the hot guys. I'm going. I really am. Before I could straighten up, the man who claimed he wasn't petty at all yanked me onto his lap. He muttered, You know I'm all talk, so why won't you coax me more? Do I have to comfort myself? I couldn't help laughing. Then show me. How do you comfort yourself? Liam arched a brow. You sure you want to see? I nodded. Why wouldn't I be? Watching a big grump talk himself out of a snit was pure entertainment. Fine. He dipped his head, then suddenly scooped me up bridal style. Me. Wait. He never said the comforting would involve altitude. The next morning, I woke to a string of notification pings. I pried my eyes open, glanced at the screen, and shot upright. Holy. Liam leaned over, took one look, and his jaw dropped too. I dived into Weibo. Sure enough, we'd crashed the trending chart. Hashtag Blake Sophia. The tag led to a short clip of the two of them talking. On screen, Blake grew more agitated. I left you at the altar in front of the whole world. Why can't you see how I feel? Sophia ran a hand through her short hair, saying nothing. Though they spoke Chinese, the raised voices drew stares. He didn't care. He gripped her wrist. I gave up everything, Sophia. I love you. After a long silence, Sophia's eyes reddened. We're siblings. Do you get that? He snapped. You're only adoptive. So what? The footage cut off there. The comments section was already wild. Damn bro. You made me late for work with this trans-Pacific drama. Phone. Dad, what rabbit hole have you dragged me into? 10 years ago I'd have shipped this. Now it just feels icky. Especially remembering the bride abandoned at the billion-dollar wedding spectacle. I call BS. If he's loved Sophia all along, why promise to marry Scarlett? Something feels off. If they're truly adoptive siblings, why is Sophia reacting like this? I pulled down to refresh, but both the tag and the video vanished. Friends in the industry flooded my DMs asking if it was real. My fan group roasted Blake and sent me virtual hugs. Liam chuckled beside me. Your stans have talent. I rolled my eyes. I opened a gossip group where people were calling the Vance a schemer who played the long game. Frowning, I remembered the message Sophia had sent me the other day. From what she wrote, she wanted nothing more to do with him. It was Blake clinging on, chasing her across the ocean. I switched to my alt account, scrolled through our chat, and started typing a defense for her. Just as I was about to hit send, Blake called. I instinctively looked at Liam. He took the phone, answered, and put it on speaker. His hoarse voice came through. Scarlett, where are you? Can we meet? Liam's face darkened, ready to unload. I signaled him to cool it and declined. Not convenient. I'm on my honeymoon with Liam. He paused as though he hadn't heard, then rasped, Dad had a stroke last night. It's bad. If possible, I'd like you to come see him with me. I refused again. Better if family stays with him at a time like this. An outsider would only be in the way. I said no repeatedly, but Blake kept brushing it off. Finally he sighed. Scarlett, I was out of line and I hurt you. Let's have another wedding. Pretend none of this ever happened. Okay. I muttered psycho, and hung up. I crawled back into Liam's arms and resumed harvesting gossip. After a while he asked, when are we heading home? I yawned and wriggled comfy. I'm not going back. After swapping grooms on live television and refusing to clean up his mess, the Vance family can't even hear my name without flinching. If I showed up now and the old man kicked the bucket, I'd be blamed. Liam toyed with my fingers, sounding sullen. But the guy surnamed Vance wants to remarry you. I glared. Bigamy is illegal. I'd have to be crazy to eat regurgitated grass, especially when it's rotten. Liam's grin spread ear to ear. Then we definitely have to go back. I raised an eyebrow, but he was already out of bed, throwing clothes into a suitcase. 20 minutes of me watching finally cracked him. He shot me a cautious glance. I just wanted a front row seat to his meltdown. Knowing him, the meltdown was a bonus. Mainly, he wanted me to reject Blake face to face so he could rub salt in the wound. I didn't call him out because I kind of wanted to see the show too. We grabbed the next available flight. We didn't even stop at home. Straight from Riverdale, we rushed to Richard's hospital. He was still unconscious. Blake slumped on the corridor floor. Eleanor standing over him, cursing. We stepped out of the elevator just as she wheeled on Blake. How did I raise such a worthless son? Scarlett was the perfect daughter-in-law, but you threw her away for some stray. You ran from the billion-dollar wedding spectacle and chased her overseas. Aren't I humiliated enough? Liam and I exchanged glances and wordlessly took one step back, melting behind the corner. He slammed a fist into the wall beside him. How is this my fault? Dad's the one who messed up. He didn't finish. Eleanor cut him off. What did I do to deserve this? I was kept in the dark for 10 years. Raised his bastard daughter as a princess. And you? You disappointment. She started pounding on his chest. He was at the end of his patience, voice climbing. I already promised I'd redo the whole wedding with Scarlett. That I'd forget Sophia completely. What more do you want? Eleanor looked almost amused. The last time I begged her for you, I thought you just lost your head for a minute, and we still had a chance to fix this. Now that every dirty detail is trending, you honestly expect her to walk down the aisle with you again? You're exactly like your father? She glanced toward the hospital room, a cold laugh slipping out. Still, maybe this is exactly what he deserves. The jab from his own mother hit Blake square in the chest. He shoved to his feet, meaning to hide in the stairwell. Liam and I were frozen, staring at each other in shock. So, Richard had collapsed because he'd learned about Sophia and Blake. As the only person who'd known Sophia's real parentage, the blow had been too much, one gasp away from a stroke, and he'd crashed. Seeing her son come home hollow-eyed, Eleanor had felt something was off. Weeks of digging had led her to that conclusion. While we were still reeling, she went on talking, and we slowly pieced the rest together. The moment she had proof, Eleanor told Blake. Naturally, he refused to believe it and hounded Sophia until she admitted everything. She'd found out just days before my wedding to him. Once the truth was out, Sophia cut the Vance family off on the spot, blocked every number, and so the rumors went. She flew out of the country that very night. Hearing his footsteps, Liam and I quickly pretended we'd just stepped off the elevator. He stopped, then brightened. Scarlett, you came. I knew you'd forgive me. Liam instinctively stepped in front of me. He glanced back silently, telling me to enjoy the show. I swallowed a laugh and peeked around him. I'm only here to check on your mom. Don't read into it, Liam added helpfully. Don't flatter yourself. He leaned past him, eyes pleading. Scarlett, I didn't think things through and I hurt you. Let me make it right. Just give me one more chance. Liam turned to me and translated. He's tired of being roasted online and wants a feel-good headline by getting back with you. I was about to remind him my hearing worked fine when Liam faced Blake again and fired away. Do we righteous medicines look that gullible? You think you can farm goodwill that easily? Go home. Go to sleep. Once you're unconscious, you won't see the comments dragging you. A laugh burst out of me. He opened his mouth, found 0 words. Liam tilted his head as though listening to me, then informed Blake. My wife just said she already has one husband, me, and she's crazy about him. Dies like you don't get additions. I laughed so hard I choked. Mortifying. I never said that. His face flamed. We can still have the wedding. She'll say yes. Liam's eyes sparkled. He'd been waiting for the kill shot. He pulled 2 marriage certificates from his pocket and fluttered them in front of Blake. We're not just wedding day official. We've got the government paperwork too. I hid my face in my hands. He and I had planned to sign the license after the ceremony. When he left me at the altar, the paperwork never happened. Liam had practically danced all night when he found out. First thing the next morning, he dragged me to City Hall. While packing for this trip, he'd fished the certificates out and slipped them into his jacket. I'd suspected why, but told myself he'd never do something that cheesy. Turns out, not only did he do it, he set the stage first. Seeing Blake demolished, Eleanor hauled him back toward the room, forcing a smile. Scarlett, thank you for visiting. Under the circumstances, I can't really play host. Please head home. I nodded fast and pulled Liam away. After 2 blessed days in the hospital, he went quiet. On the 3rd, he resurfaced with new numbers, texting apologies and begging me to leave Liam. I blocked everyone. Then, apparently unhinged, he switched targets and started messaging Liam. First came threats. Divorce Scarlett or pay the price. Soon he'd sunk to outright pleading, asking Liam to give her back. Liam blocked him twice, which only fueled the meltdown. Every day, Blake spammed Liam with highlights of our past romance. Liam stayed unruffled, replying with a selfie of us on our wedding day. Romantic. Pretty average if you ask me. He finally went silent. Watching Liam's childish victory lap, I teased. Why not just wear the marriage certificate around your neck? He tucked the photo under our pillow and nuzzled me. Nah, that would look dumb. I had no comeback, just a flat haha. Liam was admiring his handiwork when he suddenly frowned. You bought him a shirt? I shrugged. Just to keep our parents happy. Meant nothing. I'd never even seen Blake wear it. Anything Blake gave me only saw daylight when the families met. Liam pouted. I want one. Classic competitive streak. I pointed toward the walk-in. Your closets are exploding. Still need more. He looked away, cheeks puffed. Yes. Calmly I asked, how about a different gift? His eyes flicked to me, tempted. Then he turned his head again. Nope. Seeing another salt coming, I flopped down and pretended to sleep until he spilled it. Sure enough, within seconds he said, You're sick of me. You don't even love me. You gave him presents. But not me. He matters more. When I apologized, you blocked me. Yet I cut in fast. I blocked him too. Every new number. Worse than what I'd done to Liam. That only made him huffier. All I did was mouth off a little and he betrayed you. Yet we get equal treatment. So this is Liam throwing a tantrum. I pulled the quilt over my face, giggled myself sane, then popped up and kissed him soundly several times. Liam stared at me, stunned. I beat him to the punch. So still mad. He fought a tiny delighted smirk. I suppose I can live with it. I was leaning in for another kiss when he yanked the duvet over both of us. Now I'm definitely not mad. Me, I knew it. I just knew it. 9. Determined not to give Liam another chance to outmaneuver me, I shot out of bed the next afternoon and drove straight to the mall. I bought him more than a dozen black silk shirts in every cut imaginable. Afraid that still wouldn't shut him up, I cleared out half the couple's collection, matching everything in complementary shades. I just dumped the armful of bags into the trunk when a string of texts from an unknown number lit up my phone. I didn't need to open them to know it was Blake being psychotic again. I deleted the whole thread in one swipe. The second I hit clear, an iMessage from him popped up. Scarlett, Sophia humiliated you at the altar and made you lose face. You must hate her, right? Let me get even for you. What do you say? I'll stage a wedding with her. But don't worry, the real bride will be you. I just want to expose her true identity during the ceremony. I won't actually marry her. And you hate me too, don't you? If I pull this off, both our reputations go down in flames. Will that make you forgive me? Scarlett, I'll be waiting at the chapel. I slammed my fist against the steering wheel. Shameless beyond belief. Sophia had begged him to stop countless times. He never listened. Now he wanted to pin the whole left me at the altar disaster on her. I thought for a second, then called Liam and asked him to meet me in the parking lot, so we could drive to the chapel together. I couldn't care less what happened to his reputation, but Sophia had warned me in advance, giving me time to prepare instead of standing there stunned when the groom bolted. I owed her one. Liam didn't waste breath on questions. He just told me he'd get there as fast as possible. Worried the lunatic might do something extreme. He also arranged for security to loiter near the chapel, while his messages kept pinging through. I was about to tell him to back off when Liam took the phone and typed at lightning speed. Sure, I forgive you. I'm already on my way. Don't hurt Sophia or people will blame me. I only want her publicly embarrassed. He handed the phone back and told me to keep texting in my usual tone to keep Blake calm. When Liam and I walked in, Sophia stood motionless in her wedding gown while Blake lay sprawled on the floor, a phone still streaming beside him. I killed the feed and looked at Sophia. She didn't even register our arrival. Her gaze, brimming with disappointment, was fixed on Blake. The moment I learned who I really am, I begged you over and over. You wouldn't listen. You had to bolt. Now that you can't handle the fallout and you can't handle being with me either, you decide to sacrifice me so you can have your old life back. I never imagined the self-defense moves you insisted I learn would be used on you. His eyes were vacant. No, I just figured if you forgave me, Scarlett, everything would go back to the way it was. If she loses face, you'll be happy. The exact line he'd fed Sophia the day he fled. Only this time the person listening was different. I gave a cold laugh. She and I don't get along, but she tipped me off so I wouldn't be blindsided at the altar. You claim you wanted to marry me, yet you ran in front of the whole world, and you were the one who insisted on live streaming the whole circus. He stammered a chain of no's. I was wrong. I know I was wrong. He struggled forward trying to grab my hem. Scarlett, forgive me. If you just forgive me, we can go back to how we were. Before he could touch me, Liam kicked him halfway across the chapel. The next second, Sophia scooped up the phone and dialed. I'd like to report an abduction. 11. Liam and I bowed out after that. I only heard bits and pieces later. When Richard learned Sophia had called the cops on Blake, he flew into such a rage it killed him. Eleanor scrambled to seize full control of the Vance empire, and, determined to protect the family name, left Blake to rot. Sophia signed every cent of her inheritance from Richard over to Eleanor, then applied to grad school overseas. Before boarding, she texted me 2 words, "Thank you," and added that I should come visit anytime. Reading that, I finally exhaled. I clicked on Liam's interview from earlier that day. A reporter asked why he'd agreed to my on-the-spot proposal. Had he been plotting it forever? Liam nodded, looking smug. Absolutely. I'd planned the objection and claim moment. Turns out someone else vacated the slot for me. The press corps roared. I was about to keep watching, when Liam walked in wearing one of the black silk shirts I'd bought, grinning ear to ear. Baby, you have killer taste. This thing was made for me. My brain short-circuited. Nothing on earth beats Liam in a black silk shirt, especially when he's left the top 3 buttons undone, and you can glimpse the ridges of his abs. He twirled. You bought me 13. 13. I must be the center of your universe. I knew you loved me. Heh. I stared dazed, finally understanding those romance novels where the CEO tunes out his woman's every word, because all he wants is to kiss her senseless. When he'd finished pining, he leaned in. You spoiled me. Rotten wife. I should return the favor. What do you want? I didn't even tea. Pink, let me kiss you. Liam blinked, ears flushing. You're giving me presents and rewards at the same time. My eyes drifted to the gap in his shirt. I swallowed, reading me loud and clear. He undid one more button. Want to unwrap the rest? I barely reached out before his kiss rained down. Fierce and everywhere. I'll wear these every single day.